Hey, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, today's a big day because you get to to hear exactly what's in Olivia Wilde's infidelity salad dressing.
Yum.
Yeah, it's happening.
Tastes nice.
Yes. Delicious.
I've got some bad news, though.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, bad
Unapologetically
news.
so.
Well, that is the name of the segment.
Yes.
So switch off. If you're not prepared for bad news, switch off because I don't have a good ending.
It gives you exactly what's inside the box. Huh?
Also, we spoke to a world champion barista.
You were so engaged. I've never seen you so interested.
I had a lot of questions there, no? Do you know what I mean? A lot of questions for this young man, Anthony Douglas, the world's #1 barista.
Does he have nude photos of you or something?
He does.
Well,
he does.
You were so engaged.
He didn't before the interview, but he does now. And also...
The magic.
Yeah, the magical Costa Georgiadis popped in. Enjoy the podcast.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
The podcast.
Good morning, Melbourne. Welcome to your Thursday. Dean, John.
Morning, Christine. Did you rest up yesterday?
I did, yes.
Good.
Yeah, I rested hardcore because, of course, Would I Lie to You is coming back and the shoot days are long, friends.
Yep.
Yes.
But I'm back on set later on today, but I feel good. I feel good. Next week will be a whole other story. I'm obsessed with Olivia Wilde's salad dressing.
What's got what?
I'm
Is that a euphemism?
obsessed.
Yes.
So apparently the big giveaway to Jason Sudeikis that she was having segs
With Harold.
with Harold was that she turned up. She was going out for dinner with Harold over to
Yes.
Harold's place,
Yeah.
and she took the salad dressing.
What?
Yeah, and that's how he knew.
Well, that's
how he knew. And
yes.
I've managed. I've got the recipe. I've been totally Pink Panther about this.
Really?
I've got everything I need to make the dressing here at work, except a clove of garlic.
As soon as she left the house with the salad dressing ingredients,
Yes.
that had adultery written all over it.
All over it.
It's called adultery, actually, I think, the salad, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, it is, the adultery salad.
Adultery by Olivia.
If anyone's driving past Nova, we are at 678 Victoria Street, Richmond, and you can give me some garlic of any description.
Garlic.
One of the jars is fine, whatever.
We will take random garlic.
Yeah, and a head of lettuce if you can.
Done.
I'm going to make that salad today.
Magical human. This is big, Swanee.
She may have had a head of lettuce that night as well.
Absolutely.
Costa from Gardening Australia is coming in, and the man is magic.
We've unearthed him from underneath a toadstool.
Yes.
And
Where he
he's
lives.
coming in. He's Papa Smurf.
Have a look at that beard. I mean, there's something in there.
Something. Secrets.
Something living there.
Have a Fossick.
Absolutely.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
Ready to put your pool floaties to work?
Start planning the ultimate summer getaway with whatif.com. Find hotels and holiday rentals plus family-friendly resorts.
Just jump on the What If app. What if it's Aussie for travel?
Red at first sight.
And Hollywood Jack is back from his wedding holiday.
I think we should almost scrap this, and you should tell that story you told me, but we'll do it later.
Okay, we'll save it.
A wedding story.
Great, can't wait. Red at first sight is when Hollywood Jack finds us an article that's absurd and he gives it to one of us to read. Sight unseen. Who's getting this one?
I'm going to give it to you, Swanee.
Okay.
Because I think it'll make you sweat, the headline itself. And this story is actually from 2019. It took place over 2018 and 2019.
Okay.
So it's a little old.
Wow, it's from the vault.
Yeah.
It's from the vault. All right. The headlines are always the best part. Accountant, 38, bullied at work, wanted to go out with a bang. So he stole £170,000 from his bosses and spent it all in one weekend on cocaine and prostitutes.
That's big. That is big.
I just love, okay, so far I
Great
love
starts, one.
accountant,
We're away.
comma, 38.
Yep.
This man, there's a picture of this man. He's exactly what you'd imagine a 38-year-old
Yes.
accountant from the UK
Yep.
to look like.
Yep.
An accountant who claimed he was bullied at work decided he'd go out with a bang. Accounts worker Darren Carville. Daz. You dog, Daz. A thief and a user of cocaine and prostitutes. He stole a total of £260,000
That's a bender.
from the car servicing chain Mr. Clutch.
Mr. Clutch. I love that. Well, he was clutch under pressure when it
Mr.
came to stealing
Clutch.
the stuff.
Which he squandered on drug-fueled sex romps and high-class escorts.
Oh, that's the way to go. Yeah.
That amount of money and cocaine and prostitutes, he's lucky to survive, to be honest.
100%. And also, High class. That's a £260,000 pounds.
What?
If you're going to blow up your marriage, I'd argue you best go this way, Swanee, than the Olivia Wilde style.
Absolutely. The awkward 38-year-old admitted almost bankrupting Mr. Clutch by stealing a fortune because he wanted a weekend of madness.
Yeah, sure.
He just wanted a weekend of madness.
Is this in one weekend?
Yep. The head office worker was jailed for 2.5 years. Well, that's a downer, isn't it?
That is quite a come down.
Crime doesn't pay. I think we're safe to say here.
Swanee, what about the memories, though?
No regrets.
What about the memories, though?
The sweet memories.
What about the memories that weekend, Swanee? Hey,
That's true.
priceless.
He's just in his... It'll take him 2.5 years to recover, so he may as well do it on the Queen's coin.
That'll get him through 2.5 years. Every night going to sleep, just the memories, the sweet, sweet
With
memories.
cinnamon and the whole gang.
Absolutely.
The whole gang. The fraudster said he suffered from low self-esteem and became addicted to a nightlife of high-class escort parties being surrounded by glamorous people and drugs, which were believed to be cocaine, but could also very well have been crushed-up Voltaren. Carville claimed that when he realised he would be caught, he wanted to go out with a bang, so he spent all of that money in just one weekend partying. He told the court he was suffering from low self-esteem, as I mentioned before. His barrister, James Ross, told the court he has had a very unhappy life. For most of his life, he has been bullied. He has suffered from very low self-esteem and social awkwardness. And he says he was a good employee. He worked long hours and did good work.
But has a tendency for drug and prostitute-fueled benders.
And
hijinks.
he did say he's planning to repay the money. Good luck, mate.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
Good morning, Melbourne. Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Nova 100. Ja.
Looking forward to this. I was going through the clean-up at home. A bit of a spring clean, Swanee.
Yes.
Geez, the office was just shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Honestly, I looked at it with sadness.
Yeah, set to it with a match. Set a match to it.
Smart.
Like Matthew Chandler.
Who's Matthew Chandler? Matthew Perry?
That's Matthew Perry.
You've
Geez, I'm going
combined
well.
his real and fictional character into
All
one.
of my come.
Chandler Bing / Matthew Perry.
That's right. I was hoping I would have
Chandler Perry.
I was hoping I'd have an intestinal sort of blow up, Swanee.
Really?
Yes, instead of cleaning this office. But anyway.
Sometimes slipping into a coma for 2 weeks is a preferable outcome to actually doing any work.
I know. But what I did come across, though, in my little bit of a clean-up, was a voucher.
Oh, I love that.
Love a voucher.
Yes.
Love a voucher, because quite often vouchers got the expiry date on them, don't they?
Yes. Are we talking vouchers here? Because I found 2 in my clean-up too.
How good. And you know what? I scanned across this voucher.
Yes.
And it takes me back to my hometown. Taylor's Surf Odyssey. It's a local surf place.
Right.
But they sell everything else, like a lot of shops in Warrnambool, Swanee.
Yes. Well, so
Okay?
Warrnambool
They're
is
all
the
round
Surf
us.
Coast Shire.
Absolutely it
Do
is.
you know that, Dino?
I did not.
And you know, the good beaches down there as well.
Yeah.
So if you're on a wetsuit or a board or whatever you need, Dino, whatever your beach going needs are, you go to Taylor's Surf Odyssey.
Who gave you this?
Well, I used to go to
$100.
I used to go to a school with a lad called Sean Taylor, and his old man, Max Taylor, he was a local icon in town.
I like them already, Sean and Max.
Absolutely. Maxie had a place called Taylor's Colonial, Swanee. And then they sort of moved in another direction and they turned it into Taylor's Surf Odyssey. Now, I looked at the date, 23rd of July, 2014. Now, Max has sent me this as a congratulations for my career. It was a retirement present.
that is sweet.
It was just after I retired. So he in the mail, he mailed it all the way up to Queensland. The voucher is for $100.
Do you have the balls to turn up to Taylor's Surf Odyssey and cash that in?
8 years after
8
it was
years.
issued.
Well, you know what, Swanee? I do have the balls because Max Taylor is one of the nicest, most gentlemanly men you'll ever meet on the face of this earth.
I love this.
And what gave me even greater confidence
invested.
was Dave Hughes' brother, Mick. Mick turned up only days ago with a very similar voucher to Taylor's Surf Odyssey / Taylor's Colonial.
Yes.
From his 21st. 20 7 years ago,
And was it
Swanee.
on it?
Max honoured it.
What a man of honour.
So I'm very confident that my one from 2014, my $100, Swanee, that's going to be huge.
Absolutely. And that would have appreciated as well because, it would have decreased.
Hey, the friendship and the kindness that I have with Max Taylor, knowing the origin, the history that I've been with his son from schooling days all those years ago, that $100, Swanee, with a mates rates discount.
What are you going to buy?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know where to start.
You're okay for hoodies.
Yeah.
You don't need a hoodie.
Bit of surf gear, you reckon? Maybe, what about a rashy coming into summer?
Great idea.
But I can think about all that sort of stuff. But it got me thinking, 13, 24, 10, how old is the voucher that you've still got?
I've got an Endota Spa voucher that I really want to use.
That'll have an expiry on it.
I don't know if I've got the balls to turn up. It's 2 years out of date.
The expiry date shouldn't be legal because someone paid for the damn thing and then it just disappears.
Well, I didn't pay for this, and there's no expiry date on it.
I love it.
How good's Max Taylor?
Fabulous.
From Taylor Surf Odyssey.
Brilliant.
Doesn't even put an expiry date on there.
Good boy.
13, 24, 10. Debbie from Croydon Hills. Where's your voucher from and how old is it?
It's about 5 years old and my staff bought it for me for Christmas.
Yes.
And it's worth about $250 and I didn't want to ever tell them that I've never used it. But, can you go in now and say, I want to use it?
Yeah.
Like, really?
I don't know. I think you should roll the dice, Deb. Well, that's a brave attendant behind the counter that says, no, we're not going to honour that now because does it have an expiry date on it?
Oh, I don't know. I've got a few vouchers in my drawer. I'm pretty hopeless. I have my own business, so I work very long hours. So you kind of don't get to do that stuff for yourself.
Deb, you could win $10K for getting on the radio. I'm telling you, the expiry date stuff is a scam. People have paid the money for the product.
Yeah, I know. But then once it's out of date, I think it takes a certain confidence, a very, very specific confidence to walk into a place and say, I know this is expired, but I'm wondering if you can give me this free. It feels like a weird situation. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
I found one. You're a shit bloke if you don't honour that, though.
Yes.
You'll be on the jump and someone comes in, as long as they're reasonable when they ask.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez.
When I was cleaning up my room last week, remember I did 5 kilometres in my bedroom?
That's right.
I found a Yochi voucher.
Yochi, they're
the
good.
best.
They're
and I
good.
went down there and there was no expiry on it.
Good.
Yeah. So and that
You
would
load
have been
up on
about
some Yochi.
I reckon about 4 years old.
Phaser in Greensborough. What do you got?
Village Gold Class tickets.
Oh, yes.
Four of them, and they're 3 years old, but over COVID, you couldn't use it.
Yeah.
And trying to get through to somebody, can't get through. Sent them an email, and it's basically bad luck. They're expired.
Really?
Big corporation.
Yeah,
Phaser.
very annoying. Gold Class. That's 4 tickets. How much are they worth?
That's about $200
Ridiculous.
worth. Yeah.
Faye, you got gypped, and I'm going to make it slightly better. I'm going to give you some movie tickets. You're off to see... Yes! You're off to see The Woman King with Viola Davis. It looks pretty good. Actually, I'll give you a double pasta Hoyts plus a custom Ben & Jerry's cake. Order your custom
Thank you.
Ben & Jerry's
so
cake
much.
at select Hoyt cinemas.
Prof, Fazy,
I would turn up in person there.
Yeah, it's got to be in person because
Yeah.
Fazy sounds very convincing. Like, how could you say no to Fazy?
You can't.
You can't.
And particularly with the pandemic, we couldn't see the films. That's 2 years
Agreed.
extra time.
Yeah, exactly. And you saved a lot of money there on the 4 tickets to Gold Class. All
They'll
that
honour
cash, that spare cash you would have had for the prawn Twizzlers, Swanee.
Agreed.
Daniel from Sunbury, where's your voucher from, mate?
Hi guys, I got a JB voucher. I was cleaning out the wallet, found it. It was a $1,000 gift card that I got free with my TV when I bought my TV.
Oh, yeah.
And cleaning out the wallet and pulled it out and looked it up online to see the balance, and it had $2.10 left. It was 5 years ago that I bought this TV, and I'm thinking, oh God, I got these $2.10 sitting in my wallet. What am I going to do with it? And it's good that it doesn't have an expiry, I reckon, because it actually was drawing me in to go spend it, and I'd be spending more money in their shop. So it's better that they don't have an expiry.
So hang on, if it was a $1,000 gift card and there's only $2 on it, did you spend the original $998?
Yeah, on the same day as the TV, you got the gift card, I believe it was, and I bought a sound bar with $1,000, and I had $2.10 left on it, and just kept it in my wallet
What
all
a
the time.
magical experience.
And a few DVDs as well.
Chrissie, Sam, and Brownie.
The podcast.
Morning, Melbourne. Welcome to your Thursday. It's going to be a gorgeous day. Welcome to the microphone, Sam Pang.
Good morning, Melbourne.
How are you?
How are you?
Energetic start, Sam.
I've got a bit of energy, mate. You know?
Good, yeah, I know.
All right,
Jeez, the pipes are big. I said he's going to have to... Government agencies are now looking at reclassifying Sam as a lethal weapon.
He is looking very fit.
He keeps walking into the studio.
He doesn't like
with
this.
those pipes. But they'll have to get a separate licence, separate identity, those arms.
You should enter one of those competitions where you get aggressively tanned and have to pose in front of a room full of people.
Yes.
Imagine the oil. Imagine if you put oil on those things. Honestly. No, you would not fit in this studio if those arms are all up.
I think we're done. Are we done?
I think we're done. Yeah. How are you, Sam?
Good, thank you, Chrissie.
Great.
It's wonderful to see you.
Great. Let's
you
go.
had
All right, listen, mate.
Are they implants in those arms?
Good question, mate. Test them.
You to it.
Did a horse kick your triceps?
Leave him alone. Let's get on with the show.
Arm implants. Brownie segment, Bad News is coming up, which is fantastic radio.
You're going to find out how big they are, by the way, in a minute.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock you right out.
You know, right. Bring friends.
Ever wondered what happens in the studio? Check out Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Instagram.
Christine, a couple of things to
Table.
table.
Yeah.
One is, I mentioned yesterday a Coldplay that they've been in the news recently because Chris Martin had a lung infection, had to cancel a tour in Brazil. Mm-hmm. He also, I love these stories where he dropped into a pub and this is in England, where a couple were planning their wedding when Chris Martin entered the pub, and they mentioned that their first dance would be Coldplay's A Sky Full of Stars. And so then Chris Martin just waltzes over to the piano in this little pub and starts playing it for him. That's going to be their first song as a married couple. Isn't
I
that
think
beautiful?
he might be a nice man.
He might be a nice man. And saying that, if Scientist comes on, so that's it. Not eating for 5 days now.
Yeah, everyone. I love a breakup
Quite
song.
triggering this song to a time in my life, to Jonathan, where things weren't matters of the heart. They got me. Do you know what I mean?
That's okay, mate.
Jonathan, have
You're
you
an old
ever
romantic.
Have you ever been heartbroken?
No. No.
I wanted to follow up to the Coldplay thing. I forgot to tell you this yesterday. Is that in 2000 when Parachutes, their first album, kind of landed?
My favourite album. Yeah,
And I think Yellow was the big,
it was.
So
Trouble is my.
what
favourite.
about this though? In the year 2000, they were just broken. They're still small.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who worked at a radio station said, "I've got tickets to see Coldplay in at the Corner Hotel in front of about 200 people."
Wow.
And I said, "Coldplay, what do they got?" She said, "What do you mean? What do they got? They're like a good band." I said, "What song they got?" And she said, "Oh yeah, they got that song Yellow." I'm thinking, what am I going down there for one hit wonder? I'm going to hear this song and then nothing else.
I would have killed to have been at that show.
Waved it off with the official reason being, nah, NYPD Blues on that night.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Dude,
I'll be right.
friends.
Sipowitz, man.
Sipowitz.
Mate,
Sliding doors. It's a fork in the road,
I could have seen Coldplay at the Corner in front of 200 people. Waved off. Now they're playing in front of 100,000.
Yeah.
And you couldn't wait to get there 20 years later to MC an event for Jake the Snake Roberts in the same
Corner.
room.
That's right.
It would have been that room.
Same room.
So the room we saw Jake the Snake Roberts.
Mate,
Right.
you would have lined up for 3 days to get into that function. You wouldn't go to Coldplay.
I think Seb Costello would have, by the way. But anyway, still a big thrill for Seb to introduce me to introduce Jake, don't you think?
Yes.
Hey,
Huge honour.
you know the World Cup's coming up. The World Cup at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of World Cup?
The World Game. The one played around the world.
Oh,
John.
the soccer.
Yeah, the soccer. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the soccer. Yeah.
They'll kick the soccer ball around.
Just some news, Swanee, for the English Wags, because it's in Qatar.
Yes.
They have been told that they're not above the law. This is the Wags. This is a little bit, this once in every 4-year event. A big time for them to shine
Absolutely.
in whatever they do.
They're already packing.
That's right. Well, they've been told they're not above the law, ordered to follow a strict set of rules ahead of the December World Cup in Qatar, quite a conservative country. They could face jail time if they don't take these warnings seriously.
Wow.
These instructions were issued at a secret presentation. This is what they have to do. Keep in mind, this is Wags.
Right.
They've got to dress modestly in public. Mm-hmm. They've got to abstain from drinking alcohol or any public displays of affection. No swearing, playing songs, singing, shouting, or acting inappropriately. And also, it is illegal to take selfies outside government buildings. Mate, their life is cooked. They should not even bother going.
They're stuffed.
They've been handcuffed.
Yes.
Their powers have been taken away, John.
What's wrong with the world? Qatar, it's still unbelievable they've got the World Cup, isn't it?
Mate.
A lot of money changed hands.
Last thing I wanted to mention this one.
Struggle.
Your
Imagine
boy,
if Posh Spice was still there.
Yeah.
well, she'd be able to. She is above the law.
I agree.
Your boy Steve Price from the project, Swanee.
My boy, okay.
Yeah. Well, you've been on the project.
I have,
He's
yes.
on the project. Mm-hmm. You taking that job yet? Are you replacing Carrie?
No.
No? Okay. Steve Price, he confessed he was arrested in the 1970s.
Yeah.
For possession of cannabis.
Yeah, Pricey.
That's right.
It's an old rogue.
He's one of us. One of us.
Steve Price. I didn't know. Well, he loves the weed, the pot, grass.
He might still, He's a little crackerjack. He's full of surprises.
What else
What are you
is
saying?
he
You're
like?
saying he still likes to boot the gong?
He might.
Boot the gong.
He might like to boot the
You think he
gong.
likes to blow a stick, blast a roach? Is that what you're saying,
Yeah,
Swanee,
like
that he
that-
still does it?
Yes.
What are you saying?
I'm saying he loves reefer, hash, herb, Auntie Mary, skunk, boom, Jolly Green. He loves the jazz cabbage, and he does not. He could not survive without the jazz cabbage.
I like
and
jazz cabbage.
And he loves devil's lettuce. What I'm saying is he loves it.
I don't know what you're saying. Is that
Jazz
it?
cabbage.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
It's sad, so sad. It's a sad situation.
Brownie's Bad News.
That's right. I don't enjoy this segment, but I just deliver the news.
Does it end well, though, this segment? Like, do we feel good at the end?
No.
No.
Yep.
You don't shoot the messenger. You're just passing on the news.
Absolutely. The news, I like to go some local stories if I can. Quite often there's some bad things happen around the world, including where a guy decided to hop into a paper mache dinosaur and got stuck upside down. Now, that happened in Germany.
He died, didn't he?
He died. They couldn't find him for a couple of days, and obviously hanging upside down for 2 days. It's not good for your health, Sam.
That man.
Hence, he died.
Unless you're a bat.
That's true, but apparently he was a man. And I asked you about this, because I wasn't there for the actual, when you told it for the first time, and I asked, how did that go on air? And you said, it was all fine. We took some calls and gave away some pies,
One of the
was,
great.
which I'll never forget in my life.
But I'm not taking calls and giving away pies
We're not
today.
giving away pies?
No, I'm just delivering the news. This is close to home, where 2 men have been charged for allegedly firing a potato gun at men on East. Anyone ever fired a potato gun?
Yes,
before?
I
I
love
have.
them.
How much fun? How much fun is
I've
it?
only had the little tiny pellets. I think you can get bigger ones.
Oh no,
but-
I've had the big bazookas.
Yeah.
Just shoot them on the farm.
Oh,
It's
an
awesome.
actual potato as the bullet.
Swanee.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
no.
proper potatoes.
Oh no, I've had just the little, you stick it in the potato and a little tiny bullet.
Where are you getting these potato guns from?
You make him,
You
John.
make them, Sam.
Allegedly.
Okay.
You don't
I
make
don't know.
You have to be
I'm not a
very-
handyman, you know
You're
that.
very resourceful in the country growing up, don't you, Dana?
Mate, these spuds would fly farther than your eye could see.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So these 2 men have been charged for allegedly firing a potato gun at men on e-scooters near Medham's Pool in Perth. So just down, just near Trig Beach or
Do you know them?
Scarborough,
Do you
some of
know
those
them?
suburbs, Dino.
Look, they're my cousins, all right? Just let them go.
Now, the Mirrabooka detectives from the local police station, they charged the men aged 19 and 20 after an extensive investigation into the May 20 incident. So they haven't been able to catch the culprits since May the 20, but after a long public appeal, finally they've been able to find the men.
God,
Now,
wouldn't you just let it go?
I'm going to take you back
May.
to what happened on that day in May 20.
Not if
Swanee.
those the detectives are on the job. You know, they're on they'll see it through.
I think their names are Riggs and Murtagh.
Whoa.
About 9:30 p.m. on this said night, 2 men in their 20s were travelling south along the footpath of West Coast Drive in Tree. I believe they may have had this playing on this. Just cruising along. Imagine that.
The great Tom Cochrane.
Going past Trig Beach in Perth, Swanee. It's a beautiful beach there, isn't it, Dino?
Gorgeous.
On the orange rental scooters. So these young bucks, they're probably thinking, we're just going to get maybe some tourists.
Yeah.
Getting it out, enjoy a good time. When the scooter's near Medham's Pool, the occupants of a vehicle, a couple of young skylarks, drove past them, travelling on West Coast Drive, and they allegedly threw or fired a potato gun at the scooters, injuring one of the 28-year-old men that's on the e-scooters. He sustained serious facial injuries and a fractured arm. So this is where the bad news comes in.
Right, okay.
He's broken his arm.
That's bad.
Back to the facial injuries. As a result of the facial injuries, the victim's eye was injured to such an extent that it had to be surgically removed.
Oh, dear God. He copped a potato to the eye, maybe.
I just say what everyone's thinking, that this story's taken a bit of a turn.
It's taken a bit of a turn. Police allege the dangerous act was planned but not targeted at any one individual. So these young bucks just decided to drive along the street and thought they'd start firing off their potato gun, just having a little bit of fun. Unfortunately, it's hit one of the tourists. And I think Midland District Officer Inspector Brett Baddick, you wouldn't want to come and get on the wrong side of Baddick. I thought he summed it up well when he said, it would appear those involved thought it would be fun to use potatoes as projectiles aimed at people minding their own business and enjoying our coastal strip, he said. This so-called fun has ended in tragedy, with the victim losing one eye.
That's Brownie's bad news.
That's a
There's no winners.
It's an interesting. And is that it now?
Yeah, that's
is that
it.
how
That's
the
it.
segment finishes?
Once again, I only deliver the news.
Yeah.
Don't shoot the messenger. Okay? Be careful next time you're going to use a potato gun.
He was very clear, Sam.
No,
At
that's
the beginning,
true.
it's called Brownie's bad
That
news.
segment
you can't
was
make it more obvious.
Absolutely, Chrissy. That segment was as advertised, and well done.
What do you want?
Want to see what happens in the studio? Check it out on Facebook. Follow Chrissie, Sam and Brownie. Anthony Douglas. Actually, I'm going to make a quick coffee while I do this intro. Anthony! Sorry. Now, hang on. Oh, sorry. Now, he's the 2022 World Barista Champion. Right here from Melbourne, which is exciting. He's in partnership with Axel Roasters. And, yeah, here's Douglas.
This is very, very exciting. Welcome, Anthony, to the microphone in the studio.
G'day, thanks for having me.
You are one of my favourite breeds of people. A coffee is...
Be careful, she'll try and pick you up.
A white man.
well, no.
Wow.
Purveyor of coffee
Yeah.
is the highlight of my day, is someone like you. Do you find that a lot of women of a certain age are in love with you?
Oh, I don't know if it's specifically women, but yeah. We get a bit of attention from all sorts of people.
Well, you're providing an unbelievable community service. What do you think coffee means to people?
A lot of things, for some people it's a functional beverage. It gets them up in the morning. A lot of people, especially here in Melbourne, we see it's a cultural thing where people go out and they grab a coffee together and, socialise and catch up.
Congratulations.
You've got a good voice.
A very good voice.
Yeah.
It's like working with an actual professional.
I know.
Anthony, you won the World Barista Championships.
Yes.
Please tell me, so where were they?
They were here in Melbourne.
Right, so you had the black shorts on. You had a hometown advantage.
Yes, that was nice.
You were playing at home. What did it involve? Is it a one-day event? Is it over a week? And what did you actually have to do to win?
So these championships themselves, they had 3 rounds. You had the open round, semi-finals, and then finals, and you had made your way into each one. It's a score-based competition, so you're serving coffee to judges, and they've got score sheets and a pretty elaborate scoring system that they use to assess the drinks that you're making.
Who are the judges?
Well, a lot of them have been in the industry for a while, and they've judged for a while too, if they're judging at the world level.
Do you have an arch enemy? Like you're like bloody Jerry from California.
Who's your Apollo creed?
Yeah.
If you're Rocky, who's your Apollo creed?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I've got an enemy, but there's definitely people to look out for.
Who?
So Ben Putt is
Ben Putt.
one. Ben Putt from Canada. That guy.
Ben Putt from Canada.
Yeah.
Put him back in his place.
There's the headline.
You can leave.
Douglas
That's it.
puts Canada back in his place. Mate,
There we go.
Ben Putts, more like.
There you go.
Well,
I feel sorry for Ben now.
did he come all the way from Canada
He
just to
did,
be
yeah.
beaten by you?
Gee, that's a long,
my God, I love
long
it.
trip home, eh? Long trip home as a loser.
Did he come second?
No, he ended up coming 5th, but it's choked. It's just how things fall in the day, though. He's an incredible competitor, lots of experience.
Yes.
This was his 5th WBC, so
WBC.
Sorry, I just need this clarified. You know the judges, do they say, listen, I want a long black or I want a flat white? Or like what coffee do you, how do you know what coffee you're going to make?
Well, we serve 3 courses, 1 espresso, 1 milk, and 1 signature drink. And the routine is something that we develop usually for months on end. So they just get the package. The signature drink that I served had 4 ingredients, and they were based off decisions that I'd made in the routine. So one was a lacto-fermented passion fruit syrup. One of them was a cold brewed hibiscus tea, a cryo-desiccated date syrup, and the other one was a honey from Colombia. So a little bit going on.
When do you put the international roast in? When do you do that bit?
When do you crack open the giant tin?
Leave that in the back of the cupboard.
Right. Anthony, does the average tongue know the difference between a good coffee and a slightly shit coffee? Do you
The
think?
average
Tongue.
Oh, yep. Yeah, I think so. People know what tastes good and what doesn't, you know? Yeah.
All right, questions from Jack. Jack wants to know, what's the hardest pattern that you have to put in the top of a coffee? So I've never had I just have black coffee, so I
I've
don't
got
get
a
these,
love heart
I don't
on
get these
mine.
elaborate. Oh, what have you got? I have a love heart. What do you got, Brownie?
I've got a nice flower.
And is that part of the scoring? What's the hardest pattern, and what is it, and does that form part of the scoring?
Yeah, that's part of the scoring for the competition that I was in. There's actually an entirely different one which focuses purely on the art. So we had one of our baristas, Darcy, he came 3rd in the Australian Championship. And they do all sorts of crazy things. I can't keep up with it anymore. You know, it's like animals and...
I love it when I get a swan from the barista, and the barista locks eyes with me like, did you see what I did there?
Yeah.
We just have this
Got
beautiful
to get that eye
moment.
contact in, yeah.
Yeah.
Sam loves a snooker ball and a mask.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah,
Possibly do that.
That was the last flat white I had.
Where do you, obviously you were at the championships, but where do you make coffee day to day?
Yeah, so I'm a little more behind the scenes now. You know, I visit our stores across Melbourne. So we've got 16 stores, and my job at the moment is
Axel Coffee Roasters.
Axel
we're
Coffee
talking about,
Roasters.
yes.
That's right.
What are you, a consultant now? You put tools down for you. Do you even... So you don't make... What are you...
You're not going to be front of house.
Front line.
No.
You're like a general up the back on a horse
Mate,
now.
Of course he is, mate. Easy up the back, mate. You can't lose your best soldiers on the front line.
All I'd say is, Anthony, be very careful about losing touch with the common coffee drinker. That's all I'd say.
No, of
He
course
lost
not. So
touch,
I'll definitely keep touch with that. That's the root of what I do anyway, making coffee. So
For all of us amateurs out there, when we go to make a coffee, whether on our home machine, a lot of people got home machines now.
Yeah.
What's the one basic thing you have to do every single time for a chance to make a good coffee?
yeah, the first thing I'd stress is just using good quality beans. That will get you to get you pretty far. So come by Axel, pick up some retail coffee from us.
There's one in the centre of the universe.
Well,
on Burwood Road in Hawthorne.
Yeah. How many coffees do you put away a day, Anthony?
About 2.
That's
I taste a lot of coffee.
That's modest.
What's an unhealthy amount, do you think?
we're just peppering you, by the way. This is machine gun stuff here.
Depends on the individual. You know, everyone's got different sensitivities to caffeine. My sensitivity, which might sound weird, is a bit low. So I've got to be careful how much I drink. Otherwise, I don't sleep.
Me too, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Jack also wants to know that when you were on the tools, who were some of the biggest celebrities that you made coffee for?
Good question.
Jack's wrapped. He asked a good question.
Yes.
Yeah,
without an answer at this stage.
I don't recall having any sort of big celebrities come in. Actually, I know a few people in the industry who did.
I'm tasting your coffee, the world's best coffee.
Yeah.
And
it is good. It's got a distinctive taste to it.
it's got a very distinctive taste. It tastes fruity to me.
Yes. Yep, you'd be right in saying that.
Passion
Yeah.
fruit? Did you do your special thing?
No, I haven't had it. It's just coffee and milk. This. But yeah, these.
Well, how does it taste fruity then?
Well, these beans are from Colombia, and depending on the way they process the coffee at farm, you'll end up with different qualities. And if they've done a good job, and if we've roasted it and extracted it well, you'll find some pretty tasty flavours in the coffee.
It really tastes like no other coffee I've had before.
I've almost never been more interested in my life. I've got one last question.
Yes. Yeah.
So I only have black coffee.
Yep.
So how I actually do appreciate that when people ask for flat whites or they ask for cappuccinos, they ask for macchiatos. There's an element of milk and dairy that requires temperature, or there's art involved in all that.
Yeah.
With a black coffee, though, that would seem to be the most simplest of your drinks. Well, how do you make that special?
Yeah, it's black coffee, because it's just purely coffee and water. If you're making a long black, everything's on display. So a lot of focus really goes into the way the coffee's prepared. So really good quality dosing, distribution, tamping, making sure that when you're preparing that handle, the coffee's as even as it can be. the water's going to flow through it evenly and extract everything
And
properly.
again, it comes back to the quality of the beans.
Exactly. Quality of the beans, quality of the roast.
Anthony.
Mate, I'm in.
Yeah.
And just quickly, the pressure of the tamping.
Yep.
Like, I know everyone's different.
Yep.
But sometimes I probably squeeze a little bit too far. And and the water doesn't
Can
come
you
through.
go too
What's-
far with the tamping?
Yeah, what do you do? What's the little trick there? When it says in the book, like 15 to 20 kilos of pressure. Like,
It's like,
honestly,
how much is that?
Like,
Yeah.
I did 20 years in the gym. Like, I wouldn't be able to feel my own strength.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to that. Like, how do you actually go on 15 to 20 kilos?
Yeah.
How do we judge that?
Yeah, we just you just push it until it stops moving. Basically, like coffee will only compact to a
there you
certain
go.
point. You know, any pressure beyond that is redundant and can create inconsistency. So just push it until it stops moving, and you're done. Easy.
Hey, you
Mate,
played us on a break today.
we love you.
Did not hesitate. Did not fail to answer any question.
Anthony,
So good.
in partnership with Axel Coffee Roasters, is the 2022 World Barista Champion. And thanks for coming.
Congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
Sue,
This was good
champ.
fun.
Done.
Cheers.
Chrissie, Sam, and Brownie.
Wonderful to speak to Anthony Douglas, the coffee, the world barista champion.
He's a nice fella. He would have
And,
taken calls all day long.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. I understand it was quite noticeable that there was a guest in this studio that I was interested in. People may have, regular listeners may have been, their eyes been kind of just, oh, what's going on there? Oh, Sam's actually interested and he's asking a lot of questions.
Neck and
Sorry
neck
about that.
between him or a maths contestant being in there in terms of your engagement with them.
I'm slowly getting your type, of guests. Sort of,
Accomplished
like
is
a
the
woman.
answer. That's
So-
what accomplished.
Coffee maker,
Yeah.
wrestlers,
Yeah. Top of their craft.
Dorman from the Langham. You're pretty interested in him.
Magicians, he'd take.
Magicians, tram drivers.
Yeah. Well,
That's been your most engaged over
Excuse
the
me
last 7 years.
Excuse me
And women named Candy.
excuse me for being a man of the people.
You're
Speaking of
excused.
which, thank you.
I don't know, is he? Let's have a meeting.
Absolutely,
Are we
I am.
excusing him for being a man of the
he's
people?
all right. Yeah.
All right. You're
Swanee.
pardoned.
Thank you. Swanee, you love your NBA.
Yeah.
You love your basketball. It kicked off again yesterday, the new season. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to go through the results. I'm not going to go. It's Chris Golding coming in next week. Swanee and
I
Swanee
you
and
already
he
know him.
Swanee and he can do that next week. I just wanted to point out that the last year's winners, of course, Swanee, the Golden State.
Warriors.
Whoa! Well, no, of course you know that.
Were you trying
wasn't a
to trick me with
test.
the easiest?
You know who they are?
How many games in a season? Sam?
What?
How many games in a season?
82. Sorry,
It
20.
seems a lot of games, doesn't it, 20?
Yeah, mate.
Look,
There's
it
sometimes
is, but, if it's your love, it's never enough.
if the TV rights say that you play that many games, you play that many games.
Play 'em.
Sometimes they play 4 or 5 a week.
Really?
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of games.
It's a tough. I just wanted to point out the Golden State Warriors last year's champions. As the champions, they the organisation, I think, is involved in giving them a ring.
Correct, Sam?
This is what I want you to tell you about. This is the Warriors championship rings representing for last year's title. The ring is made up of 7 carats of yellow diamonds, a rare gem that the jewelers of Jason of Beverly Hills scoured for months to find. Trade embargoes as a result of the war in Ukraine only made it more challenging, right?
Oh, my God.
Each team had the team of diamond makers or ring makers had 5 weeks to make the 65 rings. Each one needed 40 to 50 hours work. The yellow colour is not only acknowledgement of one of the team's colours, but also the gold-blooded slogan the franchise introduced before the first round. On the face of the ring, there's a carve-out of the Bay Bridge, of course, because they're from San Francisco.
Yes.
It's made up of 43 white diamond baguettes. I don't know what that is.
Baguettes?
Representing...
Baguettes is a style of diamond.
Thank you, Swanee. Just representing Steph Curry's 43-point performance in Game 4. The face also features each player's jersey number, on top of which there is a secret trap door. This is on a ring.
Seems very...
Where's the trap door go to?
The trap door, when slid open, reveals the number of Larry O'Brien trophies that the trophy each player has won. So, for instance, if this was for you in Brisbane Lions, the trap door would open and there'd be 3 because you won 3. The individualised custom feature came from a desire to honour the 4 core players, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala, who built the Golden State dynasty. That is quite an elaborate, sophisticated ring, a piece of jewellery.
But also, it sounds like something my kids would dream up for an assignment.
Yeah.
The trapdoor.
The trapdoor, yes.
Seems a little bit, it's a bit unique in regards to targeting specific players, though.
Absolutely. Well, they're the foundation. I would only ask that. Obviously, I think it's amazing that, because every team's championship rings are different. They're designed specifically for that team. Brownie, you won 3 premierships.
Yes.
What do you get other than the medallion that we all see on the dais? What do you get for winning a premiership?
You get replica premiership cups.
What do you mean?
Those little ones with the name with the team on it.
Every player gets a little one. So you got 3 little replica premiership cups.
Well, yeah. Well, I was supposed to. I did have a look the other day when Kylie said, "Can you get rid of some of these boxes?" And I went through and I've got 2 of the same year and I'm missing 1 year. So I don't know what happened there, Sam. I should have 01, 02, 03.
How do you know?
I've got 01 and I've got 2 of 03. I
So
can't
you need
find
an
02. I need an 02. I'm prepared to trade it.
So
Give us a call if you've got an 02 replica.
One of your teammates would have an 02. There's an 02.
must.
2 02s.
And you'll swap.
Probably no
You prepared
03s.
to swap?
Absolutely, I would be.
Is that all you get?
That's all we got. And we got a ring 1 year.
Just
Yeah,
one.
not a ring like that. I didn't have a trapdoor.
No trapdoors?
No.
You also got a tattoo of someone who never played a game on your arse.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Some money can't buy.
That was the year we won the wooden spoons.
What's the name on your butt cheek right now? What's the guy's name?
Paddy Weedon.
You had to think about it.
You wore number 37. He never played a game.
He's a
But
man of
Paddy's
his
a good
word.
man.
Did I know this?
Yes.
Absolutely. But yeah, so you don't really get that much.
Mate, they should fix that, by the way.
Yeah.
I've got a tattoo.
Yes.
What is it on?
Nova boy.
Chrissie, Sam, and Brownie.
The podcast.
Good morning, Melbourne. It's going to be a gorgeous day today. Get out in it. Get some vitamin D. Maybe flash your bum. That's the best way to get vitamin D. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah. So when you're out in the garden, like yesterday, I was out there trying to get the vitamin D and I put my wrists out because that thin little skin here absorbs more. But the best thing to do is to put your bum, take your undies off and pull your butt cheeks apart and get it onto your anus.
It's called perineum sunning.
Yeah. And apparently that really boosts your vitamin D.
That's a scientific name for it. Or in the usual name, the most common name is sunbumming.
Sunbumming.
Or taint grilling.
I remember now. I tried it once.
And how did it go, Sam?
Not well. I was on a bike at the time.
Do you want to see what this looks like? Well, get the visuals on Instagram. Follow Chrissie, Sam, and Brownie.
I want some tropical stuff.
Hey, who doesn't want a sense of the day?
Thought you'd never
Thursday,
ask.
October 20. John.
Sam.
Ross Lyon looks set to land the head coaching role at St Kilda after meeting with the club's board on Wednesday. Can you tell us and our listeners anything other than what's in the paper?
No.
Hey,
Unfortunately not. But,
He's off the clock, Sam.
but like I said, Swanee, a few days ago, we did talking footy.
Yeah.
And I said that Ross Lyon will end up coaching the St Kilda Football
And
Club.
bang, look what happened.
And look, Sam, so now you're just telling me what I told you 3 days ago.
Mystic
You're just
John.
confirming it.
Mystic John.
Sam,
Well played.
like honestly.
Oh, you got me.
Hey,
Well done.
Hey,
He
when
met-
did you come out from behind the rock? The last time a coach had 4 interviews with the board for an extended amount of time, that usually points to there's sort of things firming up behind the scenes.
Seems aggressive punditry over there.
Yeah,
Well, you need
that's
to
his
just-
specialty.
Very aggressive. Met with the board Wednesday. All right, well, when will it be announced then?
Well, Sam, they'll just work out when the time is right.
Oh, you
Obviously,
just-
they'll manage all the sensitivities around it, but now
that sounded like lethal somehow.
now the coast is clear. Obviously, there's no coach there anymore with Brett Ratton. However, I think Ross Lyon would like to sort of firm up the personnel behind the scenes, the team he's bringing with him,
Which is just
before
as
he
important.
goes public.
Which is just as important
Absolutely.
as the key.
Have you been approached by Ross Lyon to be part of the new forwards coach setup?
Several times. I've been in all those meetings. We've had long discussions, long chats.
Be careful.
I'm prepared to do it free of charge.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? I'm so desperate, I'll pay to be part of the coaching team.
You know what? I know that when the grand final finishes, it is tools down for you. But Fox Footy should not pay you for the whole year.
Really?
Yeah. You don't do much like October, November, December, really.
No, but they're paying for him to still be there the next year.
Oh, yeah, they're paying all right.
Sam.
Not as much as we're paying for it.
Sam.
What?
I gave you the information 3 or 4 days ago. What more do you need?
Move on.
Thank you.
I'm talking to myself there. Hey, Swanee, Kylie Minogue's iconic hot pants will be displayed in a new pop culture collection.
Ooh.
In our very city.
Now I'm invested.
At Acme, I loved those shorts.
No, Swanee, in the depths of Hamer Hall at the Art Centre, which I love going
Oh,
there.
I've been to that exhibition. It's fabulous and it's free.
Well, this is from June next year. Guided tours will lead the public through a star-studded and permanent underground exhibition, which includes Kylie Minogue's gold hot pants, Dame Edna's glasses, Nick Cave's notebooks.
Amazing.
They will all be presented as part of the new Victorian government-backed Australian
It's
Performing
already
Arts
got
Club.
some great things and a full wall of all those old posters, those great posters that were around the city, like kids at Festival Hall.
Yeah.
And
What else?
Kylie Minogue's hot pants, as if that's enough, Dame Edna's glasses, Nick Cave's notebooks,
What? Anything else?
Andrew O'Keefe's ice pipe.
What?
That'll be front of house.
It's amazing in a box with lasers around
Who
it.
knows?
That'll be in the foyer.
Be disappointed. And
You're a very bad
all
man.
right, what else do we got? Police are appealing for assistance from the public after a vehicle, a traffic camera vehicle was egged in Reservoir in July. Jeez, got to get onto that. Is it October?
Oh, my God.
Obviously.
Like there's nothing else going on
On the
in
18th
Reza.
of July at 9:50 p.m. on a Monday, male threw eggs at a vehicle, causing the operator to halt the operation and leave the vehicle. Jeez, it really... That seems...
Horseplay.
It seems like almost a cold case now, Swanee.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yes, I remember up in Brisbane, I drove past one, and then I was coming back about half an hour later, and I had to park behind him because he was out the front of a coffee shop, and I thought, and he actually had his door open. It's one of those white vans. I said, mate, you can't check the register to see if you got a Hilux about half an hour ago. He goes, what's your registration? I gave him the rego, and then he went through his logbook, and he goes, yep, got you there, mate. I was only doing about 6 Ks over, Swanee, but it was enough.
Did you say, can I sign a book and we'll call this even?
No, I egged his car.
Should I do the Vince Colosimo story, Dad, Jack? Vince Colosimo has been hit with a $2,500 fine after he was caught drug driving for a second time. And this is the bit that stood out. He lied to police about who he was.
Really? I remember Ben Cousins did that years ago.
Yesterday, the 50 he pleaded guilty with all these details. The court heard that he gave police a false name. You're Vince Colosimo. Everyone knows who you are.
Yes.
It seems a bold move for Vince to go with a fake ID.
But I find that the minute that you assume that everyone knows who you are, they don't, and vice versa. You know?
Say that again.
Well, if you're somewhere and you assume that they know who you are, they very rarely do. And then vice versa, if you go somewhere where you think that nobody knows who you are, sure enough, the first person that comes up will say, oh, Chrissie, good to see you.
Vince gave a false name, right? And then the officers said they were not satisfied that, and then he doubled down and said he had a twin brother.
Really? I wonder what the false name was first. Like, did he go with his character in Chopper?
I don't know.
What was his name again? Come on, what was Vince's name? We should have known that.
Finally,
Dennis, I think. No.
Finally, a Colombian top-flight footballer, in an effort to distract opposition players, has flashed his cannon. He's.
Where can I see it?
I swear,
Well,
Mel Michael didn't.
you can start playing in the Colombian Football League if you want it. Apparently, he's got form here. Colombian defender Gison Pere bizarrely flashed his privates to try and distract opposition players during a 2-1 defeat. It was during a free kick. The kick taker went to strike the ball, the football.
Yes.
And he quickly pulled down his shorts to try and distract the opposition. Broadcast by several cameras. And, there's been outrage amongst fans.
Smart. Jonathan, that name altogether.
Neville Bartos.
Neville Bartos?
Neville Bartos.
We got there in the end.
No cash.
No cash here.
No cash.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
You know, relationships breaking up are let's face it, necessary but very traumatic part of life. And, when you've got a public persona like Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis and Harry Styles, things are going to play out and people that you don't know are going to know everything that there is to know about the ins and outs of your domestic situation. A nanny came out this week who used to work for Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis, obviously got rid of the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, and gave lots and lots of information. But the most important piece is what I believe, reading between the lines, is the moment that Jason Sudeikis knew that Olivia Wilde had changed her mind about their domestic situation.
Is this the long-suffering
Forever.
iPhone? What is it? No, long-forgotten Apple Watch?
The long-forgotten Apple Watch has nothing to do with this one.
Okay, I'm glad I came in then.
Yeah, so...
I found some blood test results on a long-forgotten Apple Watch once. Rough.
Yeah, tough,
Really?
Tough times.
Bad?
Rough.
No, this one involves a salad dressing, and it was the dead giveaway to Jason that he had lost Olivia Wilde forever. She was on her way to... They were filming... She was filming Don't Worry, Darling with Harry Styles, and she was on her way to have dinner with Harry as a colleague, allegedly, at his hotel. And she took... You and Dean... Sam and Dino just looked at each other and raised each other's eyebrows like, all right.
I often...
Dinner at the hotel, huh?
Dinner at the hotel.
Anyway, she took with her a jar of her signature dressing.
Interesting.
Salad dressing. And when...
Is that something she just kept for Jason?
I
Like
think
a special
so.
treat for Jason?
I think so. And the minute Jason saw that, he realised she's giving her dressing to another man.
At a Best Western at 2 p.m.
At a Formula One.
Yeah,
At a
just
Formula
at
One.
the afternoon session, just a little 2-hour session.
Quest Service Department. She's taking over the dresser. Hey, that's tough. I suppose that's the modern day equivalent, Swanee, of like in the old days you'd make a mixtape for someone that who you were possibly courting.
Absolutely. Or as Paul's, the sort of the opposite.
Did you really?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
No, see, he's...
Might dig into that to mixtape.
Jonathan's not... He hasn't had the same sort of trajectory that a normal person
No,
has.
you've had no hardship when it comes to matters of the heart. Well done, mate.
Absolutely, mixtapes are
man,
key.
does
I'm a
it?
bit younger than you guys, okay? So
No,
there
no,
wasn't
mixed-
mixtapes around.
He didn't have to put in any work, I think,
Exactly.
is the thing. Whereas mixtapes were absolute pants droppers. Is that such a thing?
Sure.
Well,
Really?
it wasn't.
Didn't work for you?
Oh, no, I put a... Mine would take a long time. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I know, mine too.
If anything, I'd take so long in the preparation of putting the songs together on the tape. By the time I gave it to the girl, she'd forgotten my name.
Yeah. Or
It was months, or she was actually married.
she'd
sometime.
married someone else. She was pregnant with her second child.
Didn't help that you started with Mr. Bojangles.
Yeah, and Johnny Gill was on there 3 times.
One of
Hit the floor.
One of my favourite lyrics about a relationship breaking up and how you know when you don't want to know, but you know that it's over, was written by Paul Simon in the great song Graceland. And I believe this is about Carrie Fisher. Have a listen to this.
She comes back to tell me she's gone. As if I didn't know that. As if I didn't know my own bed.
This one kills me.
As if I'd never noticed the way she brushed her hair from her forehead.
Okay, so as if I'd never noticed the way she'd brushed her hair from her forehead. All these little tiny clues that mean that your relationship is over. The salad
dingers.
dressing.
The dingers as
Yeah,
well.
the dingers. And also the receipts
Yes.
from
Yes.
Lady Luck or whatever it is. Now, I have made this salad dressing.
Oh.
I've made this salad dressing.
How did you get it?
I did a deep dive. I don't have a huge amount to live for, and I have been Googling and putting little connections together. She was on a cooking show and she talked about it once slightly, and then she mentioned a red vinaigrette, a red wine vinaigrette somewhere else. Somewhere else she mentioned some honey. Anyway, I think I've got this.
Don't you think this is amazing, Swanee, that in terms of their whole perception versus reality, you're talking about Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles.
Yeah.
You think that possibly their courting may be choppers and red carpets and da-da. No. It's a simple, she's putting a salad dressing in a jar and taking it over to his hotel.
She's feeding
That's it.
lettuce leaves.
That's
Swanee,
it.
to confirm
there's
too,
hope, there's hope for me yet.
the exact recipe she's put on her Insta as well, Olivia Wilde.
Oh, has she? There you go.
yes.
All right. So I found this one, and I've got you a spoon each to try it, and then we're just going to, a fork. Have a go. Have a go.
Why don't you feed me like she fed Harry Styles?
Do you think she did, though, or is that just your
Once
your
again,
take on
very
it?
aggressive. Very aggressive tasting of a salad.
Okay,
over there. I don't know
Jonathan
why.
is about
Here
to
we go.
he's about to taste it. I have had a little mouthful.
Oh, yes.
It is good.
Oh, wow.
Taste
It
the
made me want to
infidelity.
hire a gigolo.
Taste the cheating. Oh.
It is good, isn't it?
It's got adultery written all over
Oh.
it.
It really does.
It's very
Sam,
good, mate.
Sam,
I've
do
got to
you
eat it
trust
as well.
yourself?
Yeah.
Do you trust yourself
Right.
to have it? I know things aren't good at home. This could be, but the
It's all
last
right.
nail
Settle
in the
down.
Harry
coffin.
would have his clothes off in no time.
Oh, yes.
Have a crack of
So
that.
this is Olivia Wilde's attempt to seduce Harry Styles.
Attempt. It worked. They
It did
have
work.
been in
So
a,
if she'd-
in a loving relationship for a
So
long
we-
time
if,
now.
If a woman came to me and was trying to seduce me,
Yeah.
and then she gave me this,
Yeah.
and I eat it.
Pants down.
It's pretty good. I think you'll like it. I liked it.
I am erect.
Ever wondered what happens in the studio? Check out Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Instagram. Costa Georgiadis, a landscape architect and host of Gardening Australia on the ABC. Or you may have seen him as Costa the Garden Gnome on ABC Kids singing his hit Down and Dirty.
Drop down, get all dirty. You just gotta bend your knees. Get down, get all dirty.
What a banger! Here's Costa.
I had no idea that you were so good at air bass guitar. Costa, a man of many, many talents. Welcome.
Just a screaming solo to set the scene.
Yes.
God.
God, it's good to see you.
It's been ages.
You spark joy. You know that, don't you? You know, man, if like that, what is that, Mary Kondo?
Yeah, Mary Kondo, if you were in our house, we would hold you. What would we do, Sam?
We would say, does this spark joy? Yes, it does.
They're not throwing him out.
We are not.
Thanks, Brownie. I'm glad I got a place in your house.
I've got lots
Or
of
garden, at least.
I've got lots of gardening questions to ask. Do we all have gardening questions?
Hell
And
yes.
Is,
Oh, my
is
God.
this a tiresome sort of, byproduct
Yeah.
of your extreme knowledge that people stop you and ask you for
Well,
useless
extreme. I mean, it's a whip. It's a work in progress because there's so much to learn, and the more you know about a topic,
Yes.
as you know, the less you know, and the more you go into the canister. So I just love it because the questions that you ask basically incite more knowledge seeking. If I know an answer, that's great. But if I don't, it's like, oh, what's going on there? And why is that happening? So I see it as
I see it like that. It's a vacuum.
it
As
is.
soon as you go in, you can't get out.
No.
Yeah.
Just get
No,
sucked
it's
in.
for
There's just
life.
so much there.
I've got a fairly standard question that I think anyone that's growing anything in their houses, as we're all sort of doing as
Yeah.
we come out of the pandemic, would like to know the answer to. All my winter stuff is finished.
Yeah.
Kale and whatever.
Yeah.
It's all gone. But my bed is still. I want to put some spring shit in there, Costa. I want to get some tomatoes and basil and all of that stuff. What I'm going to pull out all the old ropey stuff that's in there, throw it out. What do I put in the soil to make sure that I get the best tomatoes?
Chrissie, you're a symphony. You're singing my tunes.
Thank you.
I'm floating on quavers and crotchets.
Yes. No, me too.
I'll be careful. I'll be careful what words I choose. Yeah, that's where the harmonies are in the soil.
Absolutely.
The more you grow the soil, the less you need to worry about the plants because it's kind of like, they know what to do. The seeds have everything they need in their little lunchbox.
Yes.
And when you put them in good soil, they will go bananas. So at this point, once you've cleared your bed, you want to get some compost in there. You might want to put some manure in there. If you were really... If you were sort of a bit ahead of the game, you might plant a little green manure crop, which is like a mixture of oats and rye and wheat and sorghum and things. Let that grow up to maybe, ruler height and then chop that up with your shears and turn that into the soil. And that'll really prepare it for the summer ahead.
That sounds amazing.
You are a charlatan. You are when it comes to this stuff. What did you say about the soil? The harmonies are in the soil. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Well, that means nothing, young man. It means absolutely nothing.
If you've
You're
got good
talking in
soil,
riddles.
you don't need insecticides or pesticides as much as you would if you had poor
There's
soil.
a lot of words, and there's not much there with it. I've worked
Okay,
you
all
out.
right, Sam. I like incisive journalism, keeping me honest, making me answer the question.
Yeah.
So I was just excited to be back here. So I was waxing lyrical, looking across at
without saying
star of
anything.
the show here.
You've got Swanee with a ruler and oats and shears, mate. I don't know. You lost me.
Okay, I lost you. What you need to do is put back into the soil after a winter of...
Because that's where the harmonies are.
Yeah, you got to put back. You can't just take, Pang. You can't just
Sam wouldn't know this because his partner, he's got a magnificent-looking garden. I like your roses, Sam,
Really?
but
Settle down.
you got nothing to do with it. Your partner does it all.
I have nothing to do with it.
Really? Show me your hand.
Yes.
What's going on with those thumbs?
City hands.
Never worked
City
an
hand.
honest day in its life.
I've got a question for
Look
you,
at yours.
Costa.
Look at him.
Whoa.
There's a bit of soil under
They're
there.
nice.
This time of the year, the animal life awakens from their slumber, of course, and they just start ripping into my crops at home.
Yes.
I want to know, I may have asked you this last time, what do snails bring to the table?
Snails are an important part of the ecosystem, believe it or not.
I don't believe it.
Like anything, we don't want to go filling them up with toxic chemicals because they're part of a food chain and they then get eaten by something else and we get secondary kills. It's the same with rats when we kill rats and then birds of prey will take them and then that takes them down, particularly when it's a coagulant that sort of, does the blood system and then it kills the birds. So we want to make sure that we don't be a part of that. And if we keep being a part of that, then we just wipe out all of the balance. So snails, believe it or not, are eaten by birds because there's calcium in their shells. There's also the goodness of the snail itself, but there's also the shells. So the shells are important. It's just like your chickens need eggshells. They need that calcium to make more eggshells. Well, birds need it as well. And lizards and all the marsupial life, they need it as well. So, when we just go and say, oh, yeah, I'll throw the pellets out, well, you got to stop and think, well, what else am I...
The flow-on effect.
Bringing in. So
You make me believe. You know that?
Oh.
I've just got to move you on, mate. You know why? Because we've only got a 3-hour show here.
Oh, that's only 3 hours. We've had 2 on snails.
Listen,
that's good. I want your audience. I want all your listeners to.
We had a question from a listener saying, where do snails go in summer?
Oh.
Where do they go? Costa?
Yeah, they've...
In my garden.
Yeah, well, there's probably a reason why they go there. Where do they go? Well, like anyone else, they want to head down to... the Mornington, they want to go.
Tony Martin said they got a house in Lawn. They go down there for the summer. Is that true?
See,
That's
Tony,
not true.
Tony,
That's ridiculous.
no, look, they need cool, moist places. They can actually shut down. And they put a mucus over their body and they can shut down in a cool, moist place. So they might go into the long sort of where fronds of trunks are. They might go down in there where there's moisture. They'll go into damp places under rocks.
And they just wait it out.
And they wait it out. When the rain comes, suddenly the track is moist enough. Richie will get out there with his key and say, yeah, plenty of moisture in the pitch, I'll head out. And
that was Tony Gregg, by the way.
Oh, it was Tony Gregg.
Costa,
I was checking to see if you...
We were listening.
That? Yeah.
No, I stopped listening a long time ago. You know that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I threw that one in there as a spark, as a test.
You are magical. And catch new episodes of Gardening Australia, 7:30 Friday on ABC or ABC iView. You are the best.
Oh, please. What a treat to see you guys. I love it.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie. Ripper Show will be back tomorrow. Chrissie, Sam and Brownie. Oh, unless it's a weekend.
Over 100.